Now let's create a bar chart class to display this data. And I'm going to do this in a couple of steps. The first step is to create a bar chart that just works for this particular data set. And then I'm going to try to generalize it so that you can make different kinds of bar charts more easily. And so I'm going to go back to my project, and I'm going to right-click on Includes and create a new PHP file. And I'm going to call this BarChart in upper camel case. And this is going to be my BarChart class. And it's going to start with a private property for a sequence. And it's going to have a single method called draw. And the chart itself is going to be in a table. So let's go ahead and echo table. Class is BarChart. And it's going to have two rows. So this is going to be, the bars are going to be in columns side by side. And then the labels are going to be underneath each bar. And so it's going to be a table with two rows. So the first row is going to be the bars. And I'll put those in here. And then the second row is going to be the labels. And those will go in here. And then that's going to be it for the table. And then for the bars, what I'm going to do is loop through the sequence for each sequence as data point. I'm going to call some method to get the value. So value is equal to this pointer, and then I'm going to have a get value method on data point. And then I need to know the maximum data point here too. So I'm going to calculate a percentage. And I'm going to multiply that by another property called max height. So to calculate max value, I'm going to use a loop here. And we'll start by setting this equal to 0. And then for each sequence, sorry, this should be this pointer sequence. Okay, so this is going to loop through all of the data points in the sequence. It's going to find the max value, which will be stored in max value. And then I'm going to loop through each point in the sequence, calculate the value, and then what proportion that value is of the maximum value, so that the bar that has the maximum value is going to be 1 here, and then that's going to be multiplied by max height. So for example, if max height is 400 pixels, the height of this bar is going to be 100% of 400 pixels. Whereas if this value is half of this, then the height of the bar is going to be 200 pixels. So to actually draw the bar, that's going to be in a TD class equal BarChart bar. And I'm going to add a div box to that. And then the style is going to have a min height of percent pixels. And that'll be enough for now. Go ahead and close off the div. And I have to have something in this div box, so I'm just going to put a non-breaking space, BSP, and then I'm going to close off the TD. And then all of these things should give me a row of bars when they're styled correctly. And then I'm basically going to do the same thing for the label. So here, for each data point, value is going to be this pointer get label. So I'm going to have another method for that. And then I'm not going to calculate a percentage. And then this is going to be a bar chart label. And this is going to be a bar label. Not going to have a height. And then this is actually going to be the text. So dot $value dot and so on. So other than the styling, that's most of what I need. I'm going to add a constructor that takes this sequence and also this max height. So function construct S and M, and then this pointer sequence is equal to S, and this pointer max height is equal to M. And then I need to provide two other methods, one that gets the value of a point and one that gets the label of a point. So function get value, it's going to take a point, and function get label point. And then if you look at the data that I have right now, the value is going to be this thing, the m count, divided by this thing, m total. And then the label is going to be m name. So value is going to be $point pointer, what's that called? Get count. Yeah, get count. Divided by pointer get total. And let's multiply this by 100 to turn it into a percentage. And then get label is going to be return get name. So let's go back to test me, and we're going to require once our bar chart. And then here are my records, and then here is a chart. I'm going to pass in records as the sequence, and for the maximum height I'm going to use 400 pixels because that's about how large my screen is for these videos. It's actually 768, but you lose some for the menu, and I'm going to want a header line. And then here I'm going to just create a PHP island that calls my chart pointer draw method. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we get. Now I haven't styled this, so it's not going to look like anything at all, really. Okay, let me go ahead and inspect element. So there's my bar chart. Table. So I'm not actually getting anything in my sequence. So let's take a look. Also looks like my spacing is a little off on this one. Well, it's view source. Yeah, so the spacing is okay, but I'm not getting anything for my rows. And I have some extra breaks in here that I don't need. I shouldn't have put breaks after the tables. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I just need a new line here, not a break. Okay, so let's see why for each $sign this pointer sequence is not working. So I'm going to put a breakpoint right here and enable debugging, and then hit reload. So I'm not getting here at all. Let me go ahead and put a breakpoint there. Okay, so now I'm at the breakpoint. Oh, so this is actually an object, not an array. So what I really wanted was records pointer get records to get the data points. And let's see if that works. Okay, so this is looping. Let's continue. And then I'm not seeing anything because I haven't styled this yet, so let's view the page source. Good. So table tr, and then each bar has its own height. And then the labels should match the bars. So this actually looks good.